Hi, folks, and welcome to the Next WorkAway Offices podcast. Today, I had the pleasure of interviewing Daniel Badre, the principal and owner of Badre Law Professional Corporation. Badre Law Professional Corporation is a personal injury law firm that specializes in automobile accidents. They are a growing business and not to mention also a very high service related business as well. One of the things that I think you'll find very interesting in today's podcast is the way that Daniel used social media, TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms to help grow his business. I thought that was really, really intriguing. The other thing that I thought was extremely fascinating was how he has used a business coach to help grow his business and how he recommended that that's something that every business owner should think about doing. So please stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed today's podcast with Daniel Badre. Well, Daniel, thank you for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you on the Workaway Offices podcast. And Daniel, I've known you now for several years. We've had the pleasure of not only having you here as members, but you and your team, which continues to grow and grow and grow, and that's fantastic news.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about Badre Law.
Sure. First of all, my name is Daniel Badre. I own and operate Badre Law Professional Corporation. It is a personal injury law firm. We focus exclusively on motor vehicle accidents. We do a little bit of the slip and fall and trip and fall stuff, long-term disability denials, but we, for the most part, represent plaintiffs against insurance companies. So I like to call ourselves insurance litigators. So if there's a denial on your claim, you can call us for a free consultation. We'll walk you through the steps A through Z on how to get your case settled or your dispute resolved. And it's a great practice, and we've been very blessed to have a lot of growth.
Excellent. I know I've seen the growth as well. It's fantastic. What would you say is your competitive edge? I mean, it's a very competitive industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what would you say is the competitive edge for Badre Law?
We were just talking about it, off camera, but social media has been a huge difference maker for us. We've been very, very fortunate to get a lot of leads and growth through TikTok and other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook as well. But TikTok has been an unbelievable difference maker for us. And it's consistency, it's discipline, putting out content daily, multiple times a day.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And it's just, I didn't think, it took a while to get traction. I think of the first almost year, I felt like I was wasting my time. I didn't give up though. And so lately, especially in the last, I want to say 6 to 8 months, I'm starting getting DMs and phone calls. Hey, I watch your videos. I just wanted to ask this question, and then one thing leads to another, and they're asking me, and just so that's the social media sort of aspect of it. But as far as business growth, it's been a lot of really just discipline and being there with my team and being there every day, talking to my team, making sure they're okay, having that sort of empathy for them and where they're at in their station in life, getting on their level and making sure that everyone is feeling heard. So it's been a very amazing journey for me. Hiring a business coach, it would be my last answer to you. That has been huge for me. So somebody who is where you want to be, retaining them, paying them because they deserve it, they earned it, and they will show you how to get to the next level. Because sometimes when you're in the business, it's very hard to sort of see where it is that you are trying to go because you're just sort of stuck in the day-to-day of the work. But if you don't take a step back to understand, okay, well, here's where I am, here's where I want to go, it makes it very difficult to grow. So hiring a coach who can look at everything from the outside, be like, okay, well, you're missing this and you're missing that, and these are the steps that you should take, has been a big difference maker.
How did you find that coach? It's an interesting interesting point. Yeah.
So I went through like this podcast like obsession phase where I was listening to a bunch of podcasts. And one of the topics I listened to on is business growth. And then I was just like scrolling through some of the search options, and I saw this one for personal injury lawyers and personal injury law firms. And it's I'm happy to share the name. His name is Mike Morse. He runs the largest law firm.
I've seen his commercials
actually?
in the U.S.
No kidding.
Is Chicago based or something like that?
No,
or-
Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan-based
Okay.
law firm.
Yeah.
He might be also in Illinois. I don't know. But
Okay.
anyway, Michigan-based law firm, the biggest law firm in the state. And so he was a guest on a podcast. He was talking about his book. I bought the book, $20, whatever, on Amazon. Read it. Amazing. Thought it was a great sort of intro to what I could be doing, which I am not doing. And then I contacted his firm. Hey, we offer a coaching program. I'm like, what? And it was pretty expensive for me at the time. It still is expensive. But, there's no better investment than the investment you make in yourself. So I did that. And it's been a little over a year now since I've been working with Mike Morse and his team. And it's night and day.
Interesting.
Night and day.
Wow. And was it?
And by the way, I recommend all entrepreneurs, business owners, operators, whatever, to hire a coach. To hire, like, as soon as you can afford it, you should hire a coach.
And what is, I think, absolutely very unique about what you just said, Daniel, is that you were able to find someone in the same business and really at the top of the league, right, at the top of the ladder. And there's obviously a fantastic way to learn.
The best way.
Exactly.
best
So
way.
that's perfect. I mean, you're in the same business, same industry, and that's amazing. And I can still remember, this is going back a long time ago. I think I was in my early 20s, and I was speaking to a very wealthy real estate local owner. And he said, I think you should do this, this, and this. And I said, well, that's really not what my bank manager told me I should do. And he said, Vince, hang on a second. How much money do you make a year? And I said, well, why? He goes, well, do you think you make more money than your bank manager? And I said, I probably do. He goes, never take advice from someone who earns less than you do. Right? And so isn't that with Michael Morse, right? I mean, that's a great example of that.
He runs a 9-figure law firm, and which dwarfs mine. And so it's, okay, well, you are where I want to be. I'm going to listen to you. Don't ever take advice from people who aren't where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Is what one of my mentors says. So if your bank manager,
And I mean, there's a lot of good bank managers out there.
100%.
With all due respect to all the good managers out there. So, just talking about social media for a second, was it that Michael Morse strategy that got you onto the social media, TikTok, podcasts, or did that? I mean, you said that you heard of him through the podcast. Did his team encourage you to keep that going?
No, to be honest, no. So I found out about Mike Morse by listening to the podcast. I don't even have my own podcast. I should have my own podcast, but I don't have my own podcast. I listen to a lot of, on top of the Mike Morse people who are awesome, I listen to a lot of business, entrepreneur influencers. And there's a lot of fake ones out there. There's also a lot of real ones. One of the real ones is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, sure.
He's got a lot of great books out there, a lot of great content on. And he's a little eccentric, so many people are turned off by him.
He's got absolutely. He's got a few F-bombs every now and then.
Sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
But he's an intelligent guy, without a doubt.
Extremely intelligent. Definitely knows what he's talking about. And he's been screaming from the top of the mountain for years about TikTok. And I consider myself late to the game, but it still has had a very positive impact on my business, and I continue to do it. There's other things he's talking about too, which are very valuable, but the social media stuff is on point. It is so true what he says, which is to just post. And you can, like, that's how you start. You just post without overthinking it. And there's a lot of self-doubt sometimes when you first start out. You're uncomfortable. It's awkward in front of the camera. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to behave in front of. So, and when I look at my old videos from 2 years ago, because they pop up in my feed, like stuff that I posted from a couple of years ago, I can tell that the way I speak in front of a camera or talking to a camera is greatly improved. So it takes a lot of practice. But anyway, to go back to it, to answer your question, yeah, it was Gary Vee who encourages everyone, obviously, and also myself, to just post, man. And you can get better at it later. And I have gotten better at it.
Yeah. And, you know, just to switch gears for a second, Daniel, is that on your website, you've got extremely high reviews from your clients. I think you're 4.9 out of 5, which is fantastic for a lot of reviews. Why do you think they're giving you those reviews? What is it that you're doing that is creating so many raving fans out of your client base?
I think the reason why I treat my business, a law firm, no different than walking into a restaurant and that experience that you have at a restaurant. It's got to be a good experience from start to finish. And so I've spent a lot of time focusing on not only a good result for the case, which is obviously why people pay us, right? They hire us to get good results for their car accident cases, but the experience from getting from A to Z on, you know, your file is also very, very crucial. And so word of mouth is very big for us, and Google reviews is a big part of that. So I've spent a lot of time finding the right people to do the job that care about the clients, care about the business, care about, you know, the name of the firm, and that's what's really helped us go a long way. Hiring good people, and so that's a big reason for that.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I've had the pleasure of meeting a number of the good people and the great team that you've hired. They're all very, very nice people.
Meet our core values. Yeah. They're A players. I have A players on my team. That's what I've wanted from day one. You know, I started my business wearing all of the hats in the business. You know, I was the secretary, I was the law clerk, I was the paralegal, I was the actual lawyer, all the marketing, all that. And I dreamt one day of having like a team of all-stars. And I feel like I'm getting there. I've always got a long way to go. But having A players on your team is a world of a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I know you've touched on a couple of these things, but we have our audience is made up of business owners, startups, AI enthusiasts, a broad range of business people. If you had to think of some business advice that you could give these individuals, what do you think that would be? How to grow their business, to create a strong business?
So if you're a B2C business, which is what I am, you want to create, not only do you want to get the best result for your customer or give them the best product or give them the best service, you want to provide the best customer experience that you can. And so if you do a good job, if you care about the people, you care about the product, you care about the service, the word of mouth, which is the most powerful form of marketing in business, because I don't care what anybody says.
I agree.
If you have a great experience at Badre, you will tell your neighbor that gets into a car. If you had a great experience at this restaurant, you know, they shook your hand while you walked in, they did the table out right for you, the service was excellent, the food was excellent, the whole from the moment you walked in the door to the moment you left that door, if it was a good experience, you will tell your neighbor about that restaurant. And so it's very, very important to make the user experience excellent.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, I think
don't worry about the fancy website or the office. Don't worry about that stuff. If you are a startup and you just want to get your first customer, first of all, utilize social media to get your first customer because that's free. But when you get that customer, treat that first customer like it's your last customer. You know, just make sure that you do the best work you possibly can.
Yeah, that's great advice. Very good advice. So, you know, I come into the office on weekends, and I always see you here.
Yeah.
I know you've got a young family. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, what does Daniel Badre do when he's not working? What do you do to unwind?
So first of all, I work a lot.
Yes, you do.
A lot. It's a very competitive market, and in order to win in business, you've got to set yourself apart from the competition. So that's why I work so much. What do I do in my spare time? I spend time with my family. A very busy person. I'm not, my social life, my social circle has really, how do I say this? Gone a little smaller since I've taken business to the next level. But I always make time for my family. And even if it's a few hours on the weekends or in the evenings, I spend time with the people I love the most. And I'm in the gym a lot. A lot. I'm in the gym 7 days a week. I think it's important to have, if your body isn't right, your mind won't be right. And if your mind won't be right, your business won't be right. So it's sort of like the fitness, family, and then business. Sort of the trifecta of my life.
Perfect.
And I spend most of my time in either the office, in my house with my family, people visiting me, or in the gym.
Excellent.
It's a very, very simple life.
Yeah.
These are the three things that I love the most.
Excellent.
I do those things all the time.
Oh, excellent.
Obsessively.
Yeah. So the last question.
Of course.
And we've had the pleasure of having you and the Badre Law team here as members for several years now, and we've absolutely loved you guys. We think you guys are great.
Thank you.
But can you tell our audience what got you here and what's keeping you here? What do you like about WorkAway?
Okay. So this is a fun story. What got me here? We had an office on Carling Avenue, and one day about 2 years ago, there was an electrical fire in the office, and we were scrambling for space. We didn't have the team, the size of the team we have now, but we still had people working. And so for 2 weeks, we were just desperate for something. Vince, you have been excellent.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. You opened your doors for us. You helped us get set up. We were on the 3rd floor, just renting a few offices, trying to figure it out, trying to get all the tech stuff set up. So we appreciated your patience. So your welcome has been the reason why we came here. And the reason why we're staying is obviously also your team is amazing.
They really are.
They really are. They're awesome. They're super friendly. They're accommodating. And another reason why we stay here is the flexibility. So as a business owner, operator, I like that I don't have to worry about cleaning. I don't have to worry about outside maintenance. I don't have to worry about like hydro bills or any other type
Wi-Fi
of
problems.
I just exactly that.
Yeah.
That's right. I just pay the rent, which is also, by the way, a very reasonable price to all you prospective WorkAway people. So very reasonably priced, and the service is impeccable. And it's just sort of like a come in, do your work, do all the business stuff that you need to do, and then you can go home and not have to worry about the things I just mentioned. So that is a very big reason why we stay here and we continue to expand here. And it's a great environment for it's a great environment for startups, for small businesses, and even for businesses that are growing. The WorkAway team can accommodate your growth, which is again another reason. Let's just say which I will be. Hiring some more support staff down the road. Well, I currently do not have the space for them, but I can easily call Vince or Steph and ask for more space, and they seem to find it for me, which is amazing. And so it's great. It's a great place for business.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Daniel. It's been a real pleasure, Daniel. Thank you very much for making yourself available today. And I'll make sure that we post your contact information in our comment section so that if anyone wants to get in touch with you or the team, they'll have your contact information. So, Daniel, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate your time today.
Pleasure.